Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Iron Port. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Gull PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services Limited, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Iron Port is powered by the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. Now, this week we are having a part 2 of last week's discussion on customs duties and taxes, as well as used vehicle importation rules in Ghana. We had in the studio our same guest, Ismail Agbemenu, who is with the Customs Policy and Programs. Let's take a listen.
So the law that regulates the importation of motor vehicles, you find it basically under the Customs Act of 2015, Act 891.
Yes.
Specifically Section 55 down to Section 61.
Right.
Section 55 deals with the motor vehicle tax, which tells you the imposition of tax.
Right.
I mentioned the tax band, VAT, and all those ones. 55 tells you the imposition of the tax.
Right.
Then 56 tells you the responsibility of the authority that licenses vehicles.
Right.
So in Ghana, it is
DVLA.
the Driver's Vehicle Licensing Authority Department. Yes, DVLA. So it tells DVLA not to register any motor vehicle unless the customs document is provided,
Right.
unless a customs officer clears that this vehicle is satisfying all the conditions for registration. So 56 puts that responsibility on DVLA.
Yes.
The reason for which we partner DVLA, and for every DVLA facility in the country, you'll find, again, the law requires the presence of a customs officer to validate the customs document and the vehicle before registration is allowed.
Right.
Then if you look at 57, talks about the importation of the motor vehicle, which refers us to the schedule.
Yes.
Which refers us to the schedule. The schedule deals with the discounting of the value of motor vehicle. The schedule also deals with the imposition of penalty where the vehicle has reached a particular age, which requires that penalty is imposed. We call it vehicle over age penalty.
Yes.
You find that under Section 57. Then 58 deals with the prohibited vehicles that are not allowed to be imported. So, we shifted to be doing left-hand driving some years ago.
Yeah.
So the importation of right-hand wheel vehicles is actually not allowed, except that you take permission from the minister, and the minister here is the minister responsible for finance. Again, if you go to 59, talks about the forfeiture of vehicles to the state. The law requires that 60 days from the time you have discharged the vehicle, you are supposed to take the vehicle out of customs control or out of customs charge.
Yes.
Where you are unable to do so, after the 60th day, the law allows, Section 59 provides for the forfeiture, the outright forfeiture of the vehicle to the state, then defines how the vehicle is supposed to be disposed of when it is forfeited to the state. Again, Section 60 deals with the valuation of used motor vehicles.
Yes.
Tells you the consideration of the purchase price when it is bought for home use, and then the depreciation of that value based on the age of the vehicle. That is for Section 60. And then Section 61 puts some responsibility on local dealers. These are those like Toyota, Rana Motors, and all those ones, to provide the Commissioner General with certain information regarding these vehicles that they bring into the country, which includes the make, model, and certain information to guide the Commissioner General in ascertaining the true nature and value of the items, so of the vehicle. So these are largely where you find regulations when it comes to the importation of used or motor vehicles. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
In the country.
So are there any age restrictions for the importation of used vehicles? And what are the penalties should anybody breach these restrictions?
So, yes, we have age restrictions, and if you refer to the schedule to the Customs Act 2015, Act 891, tells you the schedule. For all categories, in fact, we have broadly 3 categorization for the imposition of this penalty.
Right.
For the category where it is the first one, the cars, the SUVs that we know, that we have those smaller buses and co. Then we have the bigger one, the bigger buses, and those related ones. So for the first category, the penalty can range from, so every vehicle, every motor vehicle, 10 years after manufacture brought into the country is liable to the payment of an overage penalty. All motor vehicles. We have some exclusions though, but all the motor vehicles, you'll largely be finding them under HS heading 8702, 8703, 8704.
Right.
They are all required to be brought into the country before they turn the age of 10. Otherwise, penalty is imposed. The penalty imposition is graduated depending on the age of the vehicle at the time of importation.
Right.
So, for example, we have where it is from 10 years but not more than 12 years.
Right.
There's imposition of a penalty, 5%, where it is more than 10 years, more than 12 years, but not up to 15 years. Again, there's the imposition. So it graduates up to when you are even imposing 100% on the value.
Right.
This is how very punitive it is. That is when it is more than 25 years of age for those common vehicles that we import. Just because we appreciate that, we want to at least manage these forms of emission and all those related conditions relating to those overage vehicles. So we encourage them to be imported up to 10 years of age. I mentioned that from the time of importation by year, we depreciate the value from 1.5, from you paying either 50% on the value which is imported when it is more than 5 years of age, but any vehicle that is imported, the age is more than 5 years of age from importation, you will depreciate the home delivery value by 5%, by 50%. But then when it is more than 10 years, that is when the penalty begins to kick in. After you have enjoyed the depreciated value for tax payment, then penalty is imposed because of the years of age that you are importing. If you look at the Amendment Act again of 2020, in fact, the Customs Amendment Act of 1014 of 2020 brought in certain additional requirements and constraints. In fact, it actually forbids the importation of overaged vehicles, except to mention that the minister is required at any time to come with regulations for it to be implemented, for which we are waiting for that to take effect. Once the minister approves of this particular measure, it means any vehicle deemed overage, that is 10 years and above, will no longer be allowed to be imported. The law also frowns on importation of salvaged vehicles, vehicles that have suffered head-on those collisions, body damage, and all those ones. The Amendment Act of 1014 doesn't allow the importation of those vehicles as well. So these are constraints when we talk about the importation of motor vehicles. Penalties, which leads from the payment of additional fees to the forfeiture of the vehicle to the state, and then final disposal, either by way of re-exportation and all those other related ones.
All right, so we are in 2025, and it means that you should not bring in a car that was manufactured in 2015. Well, that's 10 years.
That is 10 years.
As of now, yes.
Exactly.
But, okay, let's say the car was manufactured perhaps in December 2015. We are not in December 2025. So is this permissible for me to bring such a vehicle in? Because it hasn't clicked or clocked the 10
so that you don't
years.
pay the overage penalty. So I mentioned that until the minister brings the regulation to prevent or to stop the importation of more than 10 years old vehicles. For now, we only impose the penalty for overage. So yes, as you are doing the calculation, One of the requirements is for you to provide us when the vehicle was manufactured. If you look at Section 60 of the Act, tells you we're comparing this to the first purchase, the time of first purchase, when it was first registered in the home country. So we are looking at that time of registration to the time of importation.
Right.
So if you do the mathematics and it is more than 10 years, yes, penalty would be imposed.
Right.
If you do the mathematics and it is no more than 10 years, penalty will not be imposed. Now, for us to standardize this, because there are certain requirements that you must provide. If you're unable to provide all those ones, we want to encourage and do business and facilitate clearance. Is where we agree on certain standards. Now let us take all vehicles that have been imported for the first half year of the year,
Yes.
treat them the same kind, and then those imported for the second half of the year, July to December, treat them also of the same kind. That to mean that from the time you are bringing the vehicle from manufacturing to importation,
Yes.
we will treat you regardless,
Right.
for determination of the age from January up to June,
Right.
same as anybody bringing February, March, April, May, June, will treat you all in the same category.
Right.
So in your case like this, because it is in November, yes, it will not be considered overage up
Right.
until December 31st.
Right.
Then when it kicks into next year, that is when it will be
Overage.
considered overage.
Okay.
So that was Mal Agbamenu with the Customs Policy and Programs Department telling us of some used vehicle importation rules in their country. Let's take a listen to some comments you've been sharing with us.
Joyce says, "Good evening, Iron Pot. I cleared a car in 2011. I parked it and it has never been registered or used in Ghana. However, I've misplaced the documents. I need advice on how to retrieve the documents from your outfit."
So the steps are simple. One, you must by now have filed a police complaint of a missing document,
Right.
so that police will do some form of investigation to establish that yes, the document is missing. So if somebody else is in possession of it, that document would be somehow invalidated, so it
Right.
cannot be used for any form of legal transaction. Then two, based on this document and report from the police, write to the commissioner for the production of a certified true copy.
Right.
The law requires that we provide you with a certified true copy.
Yes.
So make the application, and then whilst we subject you through our internal investigations, and then we ascertain that a true copy is required for some form of or it is needed for some purpose that you will require,
Right.
we'll produce a certified true copy for you.
Okay.
Nathaniel says, "Please, I want to find out if someone imports a car and couldn't clear it, what is the time frame for a car to be cleared from the ports?"
I mentioned section 59 that tells you the forfeiture of vehicle to the state. When you've not taken delivery of the vehicle after 60 days
Yes.
from the time of discharge, it is forfeited to the state.
Yes.
And then the state determines how to dispose of it.
Yes.
The disposal can be by auction, that's public auction.
Yes.
The disposal can be by allocation,
Right.
or by any other means as the Commissioner General may
Yes.
determine.
Right.
But it is 60 days.
Right.
Iron Pot returns after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Oga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena.
You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately.
There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
So welcome back from the break. Now news and activities happening within the ports and maritime industry next.
The Ghana Maritime Authority has commenced the installation of satellite outposts along the Volta Lake as part of its mandate to monitor and regulate Ghana's maritime environment, including inland waterways. According to the Principal Maritime Administration Officer of the Authority, Divine Kofi Glee, the initiative is being rolled out under the leadership of GMA's new Director General, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, who has prioritized improved safety and regulation across the inland water transport system. He revealed that a vessel, MV Matekole, will soon be deployed onto the Volta Lake to support regulatory activities, enhance monitoring, and provide search and rescue capabilities in the event of accidents. The authority is also stepping up public education for commuters and operators along the lake to adopt safety standards and avoid risky practices.
Also, they use dangerous chemicals to fish and all that. We are here to ensure that those things are things of the past. We are bringing officers whose duty will be to patrol with the lane who are assisting us. And if we get some offenders, we'll bring them to book.
As part of the new measures, GMA has pledged to intensify patrols to curb illegal activities, particularly the use of harmful fishing methods, warning that offenders will face strict sanctions. The authority is equally committed to tackling pollution in the lake, which remains a vital source of drinking water and fisheries for surrounding communities.
We will ensure that people, before they travel, they wear the life jackets. It doesn't cost anything to wear a jacket. It rather protects them in case of any accidents. They'll still be afloat for them to be rescued.
The new outpost will be located in strategic areas including Akosombo, Kwando and Dambai, among others, with officers permanently stationed to oversee daily operations. With this initiative, the Ghana Maritime Authority has assured stakeholders of zero tolerance for accidents, pollution, overloading and unsafe practices, while also introducing community-centered CSR projects along the lakeside communities.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA continues to demonstrate its commitment to youth empowerment and human capital development by hosting the Youth Development Summit for over 700 national service personnel from the Tema metropolis at the GPHA tires as they end their year-long service to the nation. This year, Tema Metro had a total of 1,874 personnel who undertook national service, and this career development initiative aimed to guide participants through the three most common pathways after service: securing employment, pursuing entrepreneurship, or furthering their education. The interactive engagement featured key stakeholders from academia, public service, and industry, offering practical advice and mentorship. The director of Port Tema, Tebonzuma Esquire, shared a message of perseverance and diligence, encouraging the young graduates to draw inspiration from personal stories of resilience while awaiting opportunities.
I will encourage you to continue to work hard. It's not all of you who will get the opportunity to be in GPHA, but wherever you get the opportunity to serve, know that you are writing your CV, and you never know where your boss will be asked to recommend you. Today, I still have people referring others who have done national service with me, what's the character of this person, and the way you make your space is the same way you appear in the picture.
Other speakers empathized with anxieties of the personnel, but urged them to embrace the slim but promising opportunities available, drawing inspiration from their journeys.
Pick something that you're interested in and you will go far with it. The other thing I'll say is that it's important to do value addition. We talk about these things all the time, but you need to think about it a bit more for yourself. For example, most of you have phones that connect to the internet, and by God's grace, you get some data every now and then. I'll advise you to use some of it to improve yourself. AI is something that we talk about a lot in very negative ways, but you can harness it positively.
So you may not know about the youth enterprise support. All you have to do is to think big, fashion a business plan, and get support, and it will be funded. Once you can employ two or more people, you are good to go. So there are opportunities.
So like you, I've stood at crossroads, uncertain of the path ahead. Like you, I've wondered if my skills and my education will transfer, if my service will matter, if I would find my place. The journey from the screen and private industry to public service wasn't scripted like the movies that I've acted in. God just orchestrated this. But here's what I learned. Uncertainty is not the enemy of success. It is the birthplace of transformation.
It's now time for some international port and maritime news.
U.S. authorities have fined ship manager V-Ships Norway $2 million after pleading guilty to MARPOL violations uncovered through crew-provided evidence. The case involved the tanker Swift Winchester, where a magic pipe was used to bypass pollution controls, dumping oily waste at sea and falsifying records. A whistleblowing crew member gave photos and videos to the U.S. Coast Guard exposing the scheme. Officials said the illegal discharges pose serious environmental risk and stressed that such fraudulent practices will not be tolerated.
It's now time for the phrase of the day.
Green shipping corridors. These are designated maritime routes where ships operate using low or zero emission fuels or technologies such as green hydrogen, ammonia, or methanol, backed by coordinated support from ports, fuel suppliers, regulators, and logistics providers to facilitate the clean transition. This concept is central to accelerating global shipping's shift to net zero emissions.
We have the health and safety tips next.
Fire drills. Fire drills are structured exercises designed to prepare individuals for a fire emergency. They involve practicing evacuation procedures, ensuring that everyone knows how to respond when a fire alarm sounds. During the fire drill, occupants practice exiting the building through designated fire exits, and the process typically includes sounding alarm systems and conducting roll calls at assembly points to ensure everyone is accounted for. Fire drills are essential for enhancing safety and preparedness in any organization or building.
Schedules of vessels in the port, those at anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port next. So this is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Eye on Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week.